obviously twice as much to look at. It's going to be tough to keep up at times, I would imagine. But we're off. We have 20 rupees in Link's house. And we see all 4 of the runners starting from Link's house straight away. Interesting choice, and they're actually all, aside from Crrool, all following the same sort of route.
Ooh. Hookshot.
Was that in the Sanctuary chest?
Yes.
Wow, that's a great find right away. So apparently I lied, there is a little bit of route divergence. And we actually have 3 different locations being checked at the moment. Shovel inside the dam, only an arrow capacity upgrade at the Uncle. What else are we gonna find? We may have already seen it, but I missed it. We'll get a look at the tree pole, and at least tier 1 appears to be only green rupees.
Yep.
Nothing too special. In fact, not really special at all. Full heart container, adjacent to the Uncle. And is that silvers right there, or is that a +5? That's look like silvers right outside the dam.
Yep.
Interesting. So we got hookshot and silver arrows within the first minute, essentially. How's that for the start to a seed? Gamercal making really good use of that hookshot too to navigate a little bit quicker. Often overlooked by runners, it actually helps to save a lot of time. Even using it to grab that blue rupee from the bottom of the screen. Killing just a few more enemies, it looks like, to try and get that top tier tree pole.
And it seems like that Skyward is full of explosions. Bombs, bomb capacity upgrade.
Is that so?
Yep.
Well, it's good to make note of. You never know when you might need extra bombs. It always seems like the seed either blesses you with a lot of them quickly or just not enough. Quickly rummaging through the Lost Woods, we see just another 3 triple booms. Another triple boom. And I'm wondering what's going to be down in the Thieves' hideout. Meanwhile, down in Blind's basement, I missed the first 2 chests, but didn't seem like too much else in the 2 on the right. A heart piece and a blue rupee. In the back room, just another heart piece.
Nothing important at all.
No, not even the heart piece, I suppose. Wow, that is an awful lot of bombs out of that tree pole. Gamercal and Z4T0X heading to the same areas, same places right away. Interesting to see where they might diverge a little bit. We know that Z4T0X has that shovel. Cal does not yet have it. Could lead to digging up something important, as we know.
I need to say, it's pretty bad Kakariko so far.
Yeah, it's really empty. Even the single arrow.
Never mind, it's a good one.
From the bottle vendor. That makes it all worth it. It's a very unique single arrow. Worth all 100 of those rupees. Had a quick map check from Cal. Looked like 1 pendant, I believe, at Hera, but I'm not quite sure. No, Hera was a crystal, I'm sorry. They may have all been crystals. Desert Palace was red according to chat, so we can trust them, I think, right there?
No.
Oh. Wow.
Ooh, the lamp. In the bar.
It's a good spot for it, as always. So as our players finish up this most normal routing so far, we'll take a look. What's in the library? What is on the what is within, I should say, the maze race. And that was just a very quick in and out from Crrool. I actually missed what was inside of it.
Nothing good.
Just the bug net. I don't know. Do you really want to say that that's nothing good? Some people would beg to differ, I'm sure. And at the maze game, only looks like the dinner plate. Our small shield. Look at the sink, though, up top that we have. Both runners checking these chests and leaving almost at the exact same time. One goes right, one goes left. It seems Z4T0X is going to purchase a few bombs. No, not. No, he's going to head over... Ooh, we don't see this terribly often in Randomizer. Not a play that I can dispute, honestly. There's 4 bombs within this little shack every time you come in the 4 corner pots. So it's a very quick way to refill your bomb count without spending any money that Z4T0X doesn't even have at the moment. Very nice idea. Meanwhile, Crrool making good use of the hookshot in the mini Maldorm cave. Even picking up a bomb as well. Heart piece, heart piece. There's half of a heart so far. It actually got him a new heart container, flippers, and a bomb capacity upgrade. Nothing too exciting. Flippers, of course, being the one nice thing in there.
Yep. Let's see if he's gonna use it right now. He is.
I would suspect. Anybody would at that point. Yeah, very convenient spot to get the flippers, that's for sure. On the island, it just looks like an arrow upgrade, so nothing exciting there. This really has been kind of a dull seed for these first few minutes. Really curious to see where everything's going to be hidden as we go on. Meanwhile, Mr. Blueguard wants to come on over and say hey to Z4T0X. Z4T0X is like, no, let me just head up here. I want to go digging.
Bobo only has some love.
Not what you wanted to dig for, just someone's old trash. Cal following the same route, using the hookshot to get to the exact same chest. Go through those in the same order, pick up his flippers as well. Trisscorp not far behind, about to enter the same cave. They'll high-five each other, one going in, one going out.
Crrool is picking up the shovel.
And I think we're about to get our first hobo check.
We already had one.
Crrool swam up here, okay.
Yep, it was only
that makes sense.
Piece.
Here's a piece of heart.
Yep.
Well, that's okay. That hobo's chilling there anyway, very happy. Doesn't need it himself. Trisscorp again following in that same direction. I mean, there's only so much that our runners can do at this early point. About 10-15 minutes from now, we'll probably see the world open up, I would imagine. We might actually have a change in play right now from Z4T0X, heading to the Zora area. Not a bad play, the waterfall is accessible at the moment, and you can take a look at the ledge, possibly even get what's there if necessary. The bothersome part is not being able to purchase from Zora, knowing that you might have to come back here once more. Although we do get our first bottle. That brings the sick kid into play fairly quickly. Only some arrows again at the Ice Rod Cave. No vanilla ice rods, only 20 rupees on the Zora ledge. We'll see a prompt save and quit out of that. Not necessary. Not what anybody wants to see there, when that's all that they're going there for.
They almost checked all possible locations. And nothing good so far.
Yeah, what else is there? I mean, Sick opened right up.
Sick, Eastern, and I guess Escape with bombs.
Yep, Escape's a possibility. Not an ideal one because bomb counts are varying amongst our runners. And Crrool may be taking that into consideration and just heading straight for Eastern Palace. Of course, having that lamp, the entire front portion of the dungeon is accessible. Did we see a check on Agnes Cave? I believe one of our runners went over there.
Yep, it was Red Rupees, I believe.
Yeah, so we really don't have many options left. There's no flute, no glove at this point to get up to Death Mountain, because the hookshot would make that extremely valuable, as well as no sword or anything to readily get through areas with combat. The hookshot, while very useful, does not hurt any of the guards, making Escape not really the best of plays right now, and I think that two of our runners have understood that quite well. But Cal making another good play, going over to check the Sick Kid. It's an option. It's not a bad option. Check him out. See how he's feeling. Maybe offer some condolences, leave him a Hallmark card. That's an expensive Hallmark card for 20 rupees. I don't know about you then, Tara, but I gotta think something might just be in the Eastern Palace. Not because it's essentially our last option, but just because, you know what, I'm feeling pretty bold in making that statement.
I say Escape has something.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
so we can duke this out a little bit. What do you think Escape has?
I'm going crazy and say the bow.
That would be an interesting development. Since Eastern's a crystal, that would actually be a really, really nice thing. Unfortunately, it would mean a double dip into the Eastern Palace. But, you know, we'll find out in a moment. Trisscorp's about to head over there. Meanwhile, I think in Eastern Palace, we've seen the compass map and the big key, which means that the big chest will have something, the vanilla big key chest will have something, and Armos will have one item as well. Only a heart piece in the big chest, not quite anything that's going to help with advancement. So there's essentially one chest left that Crrool can take a look at, and if it's not the bow, then Escape becomes the more lucrative of the plays. Well, what a surprise, Tara was right about something. I guess that's what it'll come down to. There's a sword! Okay. After using all those bombs to kill that guard, we find a sword in Escape. Can't be too happy about using the bombs, but I guess it's okay, there's still 11 more.
Now the moment of truth. In just a second.
There we go. And it's Quake! Yeah, unfortunately that's not gonna do anything. At the moment.
So, Escape was the right play.
Yeah, we still got 2 more chests to see within Escape. This one right here, as well as the ball and chain room. Something has to be here. And then with the lantern, we'll possibly see some Death Warp set up. Go straight through the sewers all the way to the back end. Wouldn't be the first time that we've seen a gloveless trek all the way through Escape just to get to the back end of it. Very interesting. What's it going to be behind Zelda's cell? A mirror would be really, really ideal, but we see a Death Warp setup in the process. It looked like Bombos.
Yep.
And not having any small keys at this point, I have to assume that the sewers chest is going to have a small key allowing you access to complete it further.
Well, I doubt that. I say it's the bow leads to Eastern, and Amos has closed, and then you can do back of Escape.
That's an alternate possibility as well. That'd be kind of funny, almost requiring a double dip one way or another. I can't wish a double dip on anybody. Those are no fun. However, it is plausible at this point. That's the fun part of this. Cal finding his first item in Eastern, only the heart piece. He's gotta keep going, knows that there's another item further on. Meanwhile, the sewer's chest is a small key. Score 1 for DT. Although I suppose, Terry, you were right about needing to go to escape first at least, even if we haven't found the bow yet. So that's, I guess you and I are about even at 1 point apiece.
Okay.
I'm sure chat's gonna keep score for us. Bomb the wall quickly, we'll head back in. Find the cape, uh-oh. And the book. And the moon pearl, uh-oh. Guess where we're going, everybody. And I gotta say, at 16 minutes in, that's a really, really good piece of information to know, rather than doing Aghanim 25 minutes in, or maybe even a half hour.
I would go to desert.
You think so?
Yep.
That's in my opinion, that's a little bit of a risky play, in that we don't have the boots, assuming that a key is on the torch, and we don't have a lift upgrade. That's 2 barriers. The seed, almost, you know what? You get the cape and the moon pearl right away like that. My mind would be on Aghanim immediately. Trisscorp still having other options, though, apparently, between Sahasrahla and presumably the Eastern Palace. See yet another death warp from Z4T0X. Oh, Cal, you're gonna be upset in a moment, buddy. There's that sword. You can't pick those bombs back up. That's always unfortunate. Well, it seems Trisscorp's taking the bait on it right now. There's no other reason to head back into the castle. So we're gonna have our first Aghanim check. And having the hook shot, as well as the moon pearl, the entire dark overworld is essentially open to us. At least the majority of it.
Yep.
Being able to hookshot across the river. I guess we'll see. Because for all we know, Eastern Palace could have, I don't know, let's just say a glove and a hammer, and then this would have not been necessary. I wonder if any of our runners are going to take the dip into the desert before...
I hope so.
You know what? Just for the sake of route divergence, I hope so too. That would be fun to see. Double fairy drop, that was nice.
It seems like that Z4T0X is going to desert.
It does seem like it, doesn't it? Well, we'll get our wish on that then. And I assume that Crrool might be heading to the sick kid. Give him a visit. Well, this could be huge. It could also be absolutely nothing.
I hope there's close in desert.
Gloves in desert with a map or compass on the torch would be outstanding. I mean, it's only a pendant, but you know, it's such a nice feeling when you don't need the boots to complete a dungeon, or that dungeon specifically. Whether it's a pendant or a crystal.
Let's see what Crrool is going to do. Seems like the waterfall and stuff.
Could be, yeah. And I'm not sure if Crrool is the last of our runners to actually check this stuff. I know we've seen at least 2 head over. Ice Rod Cave? It's always another option. Even Cal has taken the desert play.
Good boy.
Pesky Vulture, though, for Z4T0X. Not having fun with them. You know, it actually surprises me a little bit to see Cal taking this play.
Wait, is this a pendant?
Yes, it is. It's
Then
the red
no
pendant.
wonder. No wonder he's going there.
Oh, there's the big key right away. Interesting. Now, why is that no wonder that Cal's going there?
Because he loves to go to pendant dungeons. Whoa!
Whoa! We saw that. Mirror on the torch. And as well as a lesser point at this point, as the Cane of Burna on the ledge. Interesting. All comes down to what's in this right room for Z4T0X. But we found... So even if we don't find another item, Landmola is... I would even say Landmola should be paid a visit.
But it's interesting that both top players are desert and bottom players are in Hyrule Castle.
Ice Rod. There's a find. And interesting to point too, actually, with you saying that, Tara. It is our top 2 runners against each other in one match, and the second match is our bottom 2 runners. So for gamercal, the only relevant thing here is what Z4T0X is doing. So for the sake of that race, they're neck and neck with each other. So even if Trisscorp does find the right thing, that does not affect gamercal or Z4T0X. Just for clarification. And it seems Z4T0X is going to be heading down to pick up the Cane of Burna. Ter, do you defeat Moldorm at this point? Since it's early enough that it's not a huge waste of time?
Well, if I could get to Moldorm, yes, but Desert has Landmalos.
Yeah, that's what I meant, Landmalos. they're both like snake things that nobody really likes, so...
No, I wouldn't do it.
No? Okay. Well, what's on the pyramid? Because based on the item... The boots!
Ooh, what are those?
Ah, yes, as Chad is so kindly pointing out, it is glove-locked. One of the things that I even pointed out myself prior to, so I should have realized that. So, boots on the pyramid. Check the bonk rocks then. I suppose it's quick enough to get back to the Dark World after checking this one thing. But unfortunately, it only unlocks the one thing for the moment in the Light World. As well as the mirror too.
Well, also you can go grab the bug net.
That's true, the bug net's fully accessible. GG's to everybody that goes and gets the bug net. Now, Trisscorp hadn't actually made the trip down to Desert Palace, though, so we're unaware that the mirror is on the torch. Otherwise, yes, that would be a fantastic idea. Even the essential idea, I would think.
The top players know where the mirror is, and Crrool is going to find out too.
That's true. gamercal using what little magic he has to just roast the gold guards.
But it could be possible that mirror is not needed, since Swamp is Green Pendant.
That's true. Interesting to note, too, that Misery Mire and the Ice Palace are inverted from each other. We have Misery Mire as crystal number 5 and Ice Palace as crystal number 6.
What's an interesting choice already going to Pillars of Darkness?
I would consider this to be a decent gamble at this point. Best case scenario, personally, would be to find that it's Bola. Being that the first chest would not have a small key, not allowing you to go any further into the dungeon. That way you don't have to waste any unnecessary time, because we've seen big dungeons like this have absolutely nothing, even if they are a crystal dungeon themselves. Curious to see then. Crrool just taking a quick save and quit after discovering both of the items within Desert Palace. Realizing that the only option at this point may be Aghanim's Tower.
For some reasons, I believe the Z wants you to go to beat Aghanim, then go to Desert, and then go to Swamp. But that's just my feeling.
That would be interesting, as well as a long way around the world to even get the Swamp. And of course, not having a hammer yet, there's only one chest that would be checkable within Swamp. Must be pretty valuable, though, for Tear to be thinking that. So both of our top runners making their way through the Aghanim fight at this point. Cal just about to enter it, I should say. Meanwhile, Crrool having a little bit of trouble with these ball and chain guards. A lot of fairy drops too in these item pools. Interesting. Low on health later on, just kill a few enemies, they'll probably drop another fairy. At least that's what it seems like. Interesting question by chat, too. You do not need the Master Sword to reflect Aghanim, his energy balls.
Well, you don't even need a sword at all. But the Corton needs one.
There we go, Z4T0X happy to find the boots. I would almost be curious to see if somebody decides to make a play to continue through the Dark World for now. You know, I hate to say it, possibly even forgetting that the mirror was seen. Quickly remembering, though, that you do need to swim up the river. Without the hammer, without a glove upgrade, this is the only way to get up to the north part of the river. So Cal's making the play that I was just talking about. Save and quit, straight out. We've got some very clear route divergence then between our top race.
He's going to pick up the mirror.
I would think that that's probably the best play at this point, if you know where it is. It's a quick check. If you are going to wind up going through the Dark World route anyway, it's going to allow you to check the King's Tomb as well as the Graveyard Cave, Circle of Bushes, possibly even one or two other things down the road, but we'll get there when we get there. even though the only mirror required dungeon is a pendant, we could still see it come into play very easily. So there it is, quick save and quit. And I presume that we'll see Cal just go straight to do those things. Only a heart piece in the chest minigame. Fortunately, a whole bomb for all your troubles, too. Looked like just an arrow upgrade on top of the bumper cave. Interesting, we're gonna get a Skull Woods check early on, too. It can be quick. There's 2 non-dungeon items within Skull Woods. And if they happen to be in this front section, you're not wasting a whole lot of time to at least check it out. Finding another shield, so we do know that one shield is in the maze game that nobody got, and then there's this one here, so we do have a dinner plate on our hands. What are you thinking, Ter?
I already will be in T-Stone at this point.
One of the most common places in the Dark World to check as early as possible.
Yep. And there is what you were talking about some minutes ago. Gamercal checking a couple extra spots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that the mirror opens up that our other runners didn't have access to. Only finding a heart piece. At least here, we still have one more cave to check in this area. And the interesting thing about this is that along Gamercal's route, he'll be able to use the mirror near the bonk rocks and check that too. And just make it all in one line of places to take a look at. Pretty efficient routing, in my opinion. Trisscorp being careful in the Gibdo room to not be grabbed by the Wallmaster. Nobody ever wants that. And just a green rupee. So these first 2 mirror locations, not paying off, but good to get out of the way. Good to know that you don't have to come back for them at some point. Crrool down in the chess game, which we've already seen. Collecting his heart piece. And of course, Bonk Rocks only having that triple boom. So I don't believe we found anything essential within Skull Woods, so I would bank on Thieves Town really being the next main check that any of our runners make. I would be curious... What?
Or Hype Cave.
Or Hype Cave, yeah, I was just gonna say, I'd actually be really curious to see if any of our runners skip Thieves Town for now. Some people like to do that when they don't have the hammer. It's an understandable play. So we may see somebody go down for Hype Cave at this point. We do see our second sword, though, within the bombable hut. Always a nice thing to find. We know that a sword will not be our go mode item in this seed. And it seems that Crrool is doing just that. We'll play the digging game, and then Crrool will have no choice but to head down to the Hype Cave area. Without having a glove, let alone the Titan's mitts. There is no way back up at this point. As well as the same for Z4T0X.
I bet Gamercal goes into T-Stone.
I was thinking the same thing, and Trisscorp's going to as well. Full heart container in the digging game. Very late dig, too.
Let's see, is he going to?
Yep.
Of course he is.
You called that one. Alright, so that's what, like 3 points for you now? 4 points? I stopped counting a while ago.
Yep. And that's why I'm calling him a pendant lover.
Thieves Town's not a bad check. It doesn't take a heck of a lot of time to get through. And having 4 chests early on, it's not uncommon to find 3 of the items right in these first couple of rooms. Oh, that was fun. I've never actually seen the booze. What's it called? Dark World sprite. It was a fuzzy, I think. See, I think for me, half the fun about seeing these custom sprites is knowing what their Dark World bunny sprite, so to speak, is. That's a cool one. Well, Block Cave didn't have anything.
So... Seems like Cheese Town is to play.
I am curious, though, where Crrool is headed to at this point. Yeah, realizing you don't have the mirror, can't do anything further in that direction. But yeah, I've got to agree with you on that there. Something's got to be in this dungeon. I mean, let's think of this. We saw the mirror and Ice Rod in another Pendant dungeon. Sometimes dungeons just aren't a bad play. So... Zatok's finally heading back to get the mirror as well. What's going to be in Thieves Town? That's what I'm curious of. Chat, any ideas? Because we're not too far from the end. Without the hammer, that leaves 2 more locations that we can check. In with the maiden, the fake blind. Or maybe a real blind disguised as a fake maiden. I'm not really sure. It gets confusing.
Somehow, I hope that gamercal is checking Swarm.
Well, after all those 2v2s that you played with him, you would know his routing better than anyone.
Well, I always let him handle the Pendant dungeon because I'm too lazy to go in there.
Trisscorp, I wonder, possibly not realizing that you can kill all the enemies in that room and open the door on the left. That could be unfortunate. Especially since we did just find a glove.
That's real trolly.
Man, pendant basements and gloves, what is up with that? At least Cal can just head straight out now, through the north. Although I'm not sure if Blind is going to have Compass or an actual item. I didn't have to catch gamercal's pause menu at all. Yeah, definitely the right play then doing this. But do you still think that that means a swamp check for Cal? Or are we going to see him mirror and head up to Death Mountain?
I still hope it. I bet he will check the Zone of Dark World and then after this heading to Death Mountain.
That's probably a good idea considering that at this point the only way back over check any of the Hype Cave area would be to still hookshot across the river. So better to just get this done now while you're in the area, I say. Interesting, so gamercal, first one of our 4 runners, as well as, importantly for him, the first in his race to find a glove. So how many digs was it now? That's 10, 11, 12, 13. I know it was a lot. $27. And even drew us a nice little shape, too. I don't know what it's supposed to be. We can ask him about it later. I'm sure it means something. And one more advantage with the mirror. I don't believe we've seen this cave be checked yet. Only 20 rupees, not something that we're going to stop for and pick up.
What gamercal also can do is checking the Bombus tablet.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's on the play. With all 4 of our runners having the book, we have not seen a pedestal check or even anyone kind of in the area. Skull Woods might have been the closest we came to that, but I don't know that there's too much incentive at this point to check the pedestal. Trisscorp finally making the way down to Desert Palace. Should be very excited for the forthcoming mirror.
Let's see.
Just a little bit of money. Nice little bonk there. That rock was there the whole time, Cal. You saw it. What are you doing? But anyway. Hype Cave check from Cal, and then will we get the swamp check?
I hope so.
I know you hope so, but I'm not sure that he's quite that adventurous, only for the one item.
Well, he has the mirror equipped.
We'll see. He's leaving Hype Cave. There's not much else for him to do in the Dark World, aside from mirror right outside of Hype Cave.
Interesting.
Okay, no, good call. Good call. I see what he's doing.
Yep, because he has mirror and defeated Ganon, so he can't just save and quit.
Exactly. So we'll get our first Death Mountain check as well. And for all we know, the other glove and the flute might even be up there, meaning that that Thieves Town basement check was extremely important. But that's just speculation. That remains to be seen. We could find another glove in a multitude of places. And not too many, I suppose. But it seems likely then that Thieves Town is the play that our runners needed to make. And that's exactly where Zatox is headed to right now. Old man, what do you bring us today? We're taking you home a bottle of blue Kool-Aid. That's okay. Not the most nutritious, a lot of sugar, but quite delicious. A lot of options for routing on Death Mountain right now, too, for Cal. Having the mirror, you could just head straight up to the Tower of Hera, take that out because it's a crystal, jump down, and then hit East Death Mountain. Or you could head straight to East Death Mountain. It's a heart piece there, so no chance at a spectacle bomb jump. Cal's not going to be stopping for that.
Yep, going to Hera and checking the tablet. It's also the play I would do.
I agree, because you don't have the hammer to get back if you go east first.
Yep.
We'll see another tablet be taken care of. I have to wonder if Trisscorp is thinking of a pedestal check right now. Still not having the glove, can't get up to the mountain.
Crrool is also now in Thieves Town.
Yeah, I see that now. Well, it's possible Trisscorp just never checked the sick kid. Cane of Somaria? Right there?
Ooh, basement required.
I was not expecting to see that right there. Huh. It's one of those items that at this point, if I were playing this seed, I don't know that I would want to find it this early. I'm glad to have it, but there's other things that are more preferential at the moment. Alright, we can all wake up from our nap now that the tile room is done. Good way to get a little bit of shut-eye. So yeah, a forced Hera basement. We know it'll have the big key then. Quick mirror out. Head upstairs. Still one more item to be found, and at least it'll be on the way. I almost prefer having a forced Hera basement. Similar to a Bolach pod, it lets you know pretty quickly whether or not you actually need to be here if you don't have a fire source. But in this case, it just means that you don't have to waste any time on it later, and everybody has to spend that time on it.
Yep.
Vanilla compass, oddly enough, and a map in the big chest. So Maldorm, I got the boss right this time. This is Maldorm, not Desert Palace. This is Maldorm.
Yes.
Is going to have the last item. Thanks, there.
No, is it Moldom 1 or 2?
Let's see. Divide by 0, carry the 3. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. This is Maldorm 1.
Correct.
Very nice. Pretty simple pattern from Maldorm. 3 spin attacks with the Master Sword will finish him off. For a heart piece.
And that's the first Crrool dungeon completed so far.
That's true. Almost approaching 50 minutes for crystal number 1. Oof. That's not going to do much for any runner's confidence, I'm sure. A late crystal like that could lead to anybody feeling like they're behind. Ooh. Almost getting cabbaged. Cal making his way to the east. And Zatok's not wasting any time now, heading straight up to Death Mountain. So let's see what we have. 300 rupees, 20 rupees. More triple boom, more money, more arrows. This is the supply room, apparently. There's the best supply of all, a bee. As well as the bloomerang. So, nothing much here at this point. Spiral Cave... Yeah, let's analyze this real quick. Spiral Cave, I would think, needs to have something, right? Because if not that, I mean, the swamp first chest is... Well, second technically, but we don't count the small key. That's got to be really the only other accessible thing at this point.
Has gamercal checked Swarm, Skullwoods?
No, but other runners have, and we know that there's nothing there.
Also, chat is pointing out Catfish.
Yeah, Catfish would be a possibility, as well as Zora, now that we definitely have enough money. So yeah, we're limited, though. Our options are definitely a little limited. None of it matters. Because now Swamp is a really, really good idea. Although, where's he going?
Spy Cave.
Okay. Yeah, that's a reasonable check at this point. You have the cape, full magic, 11 hearts. 10 and a half hearts.
Not slashing the bushes. Interesting, since it can have a fairy or a heart.
And it commonly does, you're right.
Yep.
Z4T0X, forgetting to get the big key from the basement. It's not too common of a thing to need to go down here for the big key. And we've all walked upstairs without it before. It's only a bomb upgrade in the Spike Cave. Definitely. Go ahead.
Gamercal is now checking catfish and after it's over. King.
Good idea is just to double them up, get them out of the way right now. But chat, hear me out on this. I need a favor. Trisscorp needs all of our energy because we need Trisscorp to head back to Thieves Town and find that glove. I have to reiterate, it's possible that Triss doesn't realize that you could have just killed all of the enemies in that one room. On the bright side, we might actually be seeing what's in that first chest of swamp.
Yay!
It's gonna make Tear very happy. You know, it would almost be... it would almost be a little comical if it was the other glove. Oh, interesting. That was the red mail from Zora. Where was blue mail then? I totally missed that.
Blue mail, where was it? I forgot.
Everybody has it. Alright, never mind on the swamp check.
Why? Yes, no, yes. Oh. I want to see swamp.
Well, you'll get to in just a moment.
Gamercal. And again, he is heading into a Pendant dungeon.
It's really all that the game has fed them so far. Hera being the exception. Nothing else is completable. Or, in certain cases, not even accessible.
Hey, we get a double swamp check.
Well, it seems unlikely at this point that the first chest is going to have anything useful at all.
Be careful, it has something. I call it.
What does it have? A commentator's curse within it?
It's gonna be the fire rod.
You know, no joke, I was actually thinking that about 30 seconds ago. Let's see if Tara and I are both psychic. No.
Well, bombs, they need fire to ignite.
It's a bit of a stretch, I think, but I'll give it to you. So yeah, at this point, you know, at this point, you might as well just go and blind pull the pedestal after this. 'Cause I don't know if Cal has actually been through Palace of Darkness yet, but other runners have.
No, he hasn't.
Yeah, that's right. He just went straight across the river. Zahaso has the green pendant. There's a lot of items in this dungeon. We're bound to find something here. Z4T0X about to get the hammer as well.
Yep.
Dreaded Spiral Cave. And Crrool not too far behind Z4T0X, although again, unrelated to that race. They are two separate races. Just in case you're just tuning in, we have gamercal versus Z4T0X on the top. And
gamercal just found Titans. Just saying. See, Swamp was the right play.
I suppose it would have been. Well, that's interesting, because that alone opens up Ice Palace. It theoretically lets you open Turtle Rock at this point. Although he's still missing the Ether Medallion, which was in Pod. And Z4T0X not wasting any time getting right to Swamp Palace. Could close the gap between him and gamercal a little bit. Tara's not racing in this one. I've just got too much German on my mind, I guess. And Trisscorp, unfortunately, still a little unsure of what to do. Still needing to get back to Thieves Town.
Yep, he has no other option.
No, unfortunately, that other glove requires, or the Titan's Mitts in this case, required finding the Power Glove in a very specific order. Just the compass on the left side. Left side swamp is never a whole lot of fun. And then Crrool heading to the north, I'd imagine we're going to see another Zora catfish check before heading to Swamp himself. Let's go, Trisscorp. Where are we heading to? Head back to the north. Go back through the gate. Hookshot across. Let's get you back to Thieves Town. You can do it, buddy. Cal finding the big key and just another heart piece. See if Cal gets the stair glitch or if he avoids that.
He avoids it.
You know, sometimes I find it just doesn't work for me, even though I think I'm doing it right. So I must be doing it wrong.
Yes, you do.
And a heart container in the big chest. Not Sank heart, just a regular boring old heart container, but still nice to find.
To avoid that stair glitch, I always stash so that I strive the God, how to explain it? So that I get pushed in the stairs from the edge. Know what I mean?
Yeah, like from the wall. You kind of dash like halfway into the wall, halfway into the stairs.
Yep, that it's pushed in, and then I just hold left or right. So I rarely get the damn glitch.
Do you hold left or right as Link is actually climbing up the stairs though? Like during that animation? Okay.
Yep, exactly, like a key dash.
And then once you stop at the top of the landing, Link just kind of runs around a little bit in the back of the staircase, and you can push down at that point and move out. Play around with it a few times, guys. It's actually a pretty handy thing to know. And if you also want to play around with something, feel free to item dash into a staircase in your free time as well. It's pretty comical. Very nice work on Argus from Cal. Only for 20 rupees. So finding the Titan's Mitts does broaden the options a little bit. I'm curious to see where Cal is going to head to next. Apparently back to the menu screen.
Yep. Why not just go to Ice Palaces right there?
Apparently thinking that there's going to be more value in East Dark Death Mountain. I can understand that play.
I'll probably want to check the medallion requirement also.
Yeah, good to get that information for sure. Who knows? If it's a medallion that he has, though, we could see him get baited in there, and it's not absolutely unheard of to get all the way through Laser Bridge without the fire rod. But that might be worse than some other things. We'll see. We will see. Now, is Zatox going to do the same thing, or go straight to Ice himself? We're going to get a mirror. And a save and quit. So, I wonder then. It's the makings for the same play. Mountain Cave? Wow.
Yep.
All for naught at this point, though. Super Bunny Cave was not super. Well, okay then. This is why you check these things, I guess. The only thing holding Cal back now from doing Turtle Rock would be if it's an Ether entrance. That's interesting. Zatox is not going to have that same disadvantage, if it is. And it's Quake, okay, so both of our runners will be able to go straight in.
Is this another seed where the freaking bow is in Turtle Rock?
It could be at this point.
Yep.
I've seen it in Ice Palace from time to time. A lot of options on the table still. So yeah, Zatox will be right on the heels of Cal. And I have to think, they are probably maybe about a minute and a half apart.
Yeah, about.
So super close between the two runners up top. Unfortunately, I can't imagine what's going through Triss's mind. It is the absolute worst feeling in the world when you swear that you've checked everything and done everything that you can do. And I've been there, we've all been there at some point. The only bright side to that is that once you do learn what went wrong or what you didn't check, you don't make that mistake again. It sticks with you, for better or worse. But we hope that Triss can realize that Thieves Town is the answer. Terry, did you happen to notice what we had with the big key in Turtle Rock? 'Cause I don't think it was a small key. It's another item or something useless.
Was something useless.
Okay. So say hello to Chain Chomps and say goodbye to Chain Chomps. You don't want to be in that room any longer than necessary. Oh, no, we'll see it. Yeah, just bombs. And meanwhile, on our bottom right, Crrool almost through Skull. Wow, why do I always? I tend to get Skullwoods and Swamp. I don't know. I can't speak sometimes. Nearly through the Swamp Palace.
Well, it's easy to confuse them both. Both start with S.
Yeah, they both start with the S, and sometimes I've even gone on and said like Swamp Woods or Skull Palace or something. And Skull Palace sounds terrifying. It really does. It's not a place I would want to visit.
Oh, sounds like a nice place.
Oh yeah, real family friendly. Bring the kids.
I would.
According to chat, it seems we found a flute in the vanilla big key chest of Turtle Rock. So at that point then, we are only missing knowledge of the location of the bow. Even if Ether is required for Go mode, we do know where it was. The bow is still a bit elusive. Only having the Master Sword is a little bit obnoxious, but still technically within the scope of Go mode.
Yes, all 4 players are playing the same seat.
Yep, 2 separate 1 versus 1 races though. On the top, gamercal and Z4T0X. On the bottom, Trisscorp and Crrool. All 4 playing the same seed though for a sort of a 4-way showcase of sorts of the randomizer game. So making our way through the remainder of the dungeon here, if a small key is in this chest, which it's not, there will be a small key on the laser bridge, as well as at least 1 or 2 other items, I would imagine. I'm not sure if we have the bow or compass yet, or the map or compass. We don't have the bow either. We need the bow. Cal gonna stomp off to the right, pick up that magic refill. It's a fairly easy thing to get to. I didn't know about it myself until somewhat recently. But it takes very little time to just grab that and refill what you have. Laser Bridge 1, bonk. Second attempt, nice. Aw, well, mostly nice. You did well, Cal. Bonk again. Use a little bit of that magic. See, that's why that magic refill is a good thing. Gotta be a little bit careful from here on, though. Compass. Ooh, falls down. I wonder if we might see the bottom door be open.
Could be a smart move by now.
I think he's gonna have to. He's not, though. Interesting. There's the bow at the end of the laser bridge.
See?
Oh, wow. One heart to right. So health is no longer a concern. Cal is essentially in Go mode then. Assuming that Ether is not required for Misery Mire. Which we'll find out, I assume, immediately after this.
Oh, here's a blue potion.
Oh, that's right, the old man had that.
Should be easy fight then.
Not a bad play by Crrool either, heading into Ice Palace before going up to Dark Death Mountain. It's another crystal. It is completable with the Bombos medallion. You do not need the Fire Rod. Unfortunately, not going to find either one of those items there, the bow or the Fire Rod. And it is a good thing that Cal has that blue potion out of magic. Trinex is not staying still. Not helping him out very much, but we're through the first two heads. Backdoor strats by Z4T0X, and you see just how quickly then that this race can change. They're in the same boss fight at the same time right now. Just the map from Trinex, so fortunately now we know our way around the Turtle Rock dungeon. Vital information that couldn't have come any later. So I believe that's crystal number 3 now for gamercal.
Also for no, wait.
And we'll promptly see a flute activation. Probably a Meyer check straight afterward. If I had to hazard a guess.
I hate to correct you, but that was just a second crystal.
Oh, that's right. No, you're absolutely right. We've had a lot of pendant dungeons, not many crystals. That makes it a little bit worse then, I would think. Having, it's like I was saying about getting the first crystal about 50 minutes in. Just what that can do to a runner's mentality of feeling behind. Getting crystal number 2 an hour and 12 minutes in or so. But I think Cal has to realize too, as well as Z4T0X, that these options were really all that they could do. And that there wasn't a whole lot of room for divergence on it. Released the bee all over the witch's assistant just in the name of buying a couple of blue potions.
I disapprove.
That's
Poor
okay.
bee.
The bee seemed to like, what is it, the Marissa Sprite? A lot better anyway. And let's see. Just a reminder, the Ether Medallion is in Palace of Darkness. So let's see if that's what we need. It is!
Ooh.
So that places Z4T0X, I would say, firmly in the lead. By a bit? Not much. Because Pot's still a crystal, so Cal's gonna have to get there. It's just a question of when.
Oh, I bet he will do it next, since it has so many items, well, chests.
Yeah, good to go for the chest density. Good plays checking these nearby locations first, though. Just another bottle. We don't need that from the checkerboard cave. You play that flute, Cal. Apparently a little bit too eager. Wants to play it again. Hello, duck. Probably a Skull Woods clear. First. Cal has not actually been into Skull Woods, as evident by not having the shield that we found.
Oh, right.
The Master Sword Cold Stare. Time to heal up a little bit for Crrool. Play it nice and safe. Could use the hammer for tempered sword damage, but the hitbox is a little bit tough to get around with. As well as Trisscorp finally back into Thieves Town. Just gotta do one simple thing. You're not out of this yet. Doesn't need to actually kill blind, although we may see that happen anyway. I don't know, actually. Does the boss room with the light coming through, if you leave the dungeon, is that still lit up, Tara? Do you know?
I believe if you have blind and already there, then it's still... You can just fight blind, but if you leave the dungeon, I believe it's closed again.
And here we go. All three enemies down. The door opens up. If there was ever a time I would like to be able to read someone's thoughts, it might be now.
Once lit, always lit. Say something, someone in the chat. Is he just standing there?
It is what it appears. Meanwhile, Cal about to enter the Mothula fight. Z4T0X about to enter Palace of Darkness for the second time. Crrool making his way through Super Bunny Cave, eventually to Hookshot Cave. And there we go, Trisscorp finally has the Power Glove. Let's go, Trisscorp. Get in there. And there you go, now you can lift that rock. Throw it in a fit of rage, we support that.
Okay. Once lit, or always lit. Good to know.
Interesting, yeah, no, that is good to know. So yeah, as we see, Z4T0X is able to just simply head straight to Helmasaur King. Or no, I'm sorry. Z4T0X, you do not have the big key. Well, that makes, I believe, 2 big keys that were missed, or overlooked in this seed. Power of Hera, as well as now. Never a fun message to see when you go to open that door. Maximum health increased. Yeah, Cal, why are you even checking that? You are... Oh, right, Ether. We know where Ether is, you don't yet. Never mind. Good check, Cal. Good check. Still one more item to find within Skull Woods. We'll finish that off. Maybe 2. I'm not sure if there was anything in the back end. And there it is. Something is missing. I'm actually not sure where it is. So there's a green rupee. We know the other item is the shield. Cal already has that. It's anyone's game up on this top race. If Cal gets straight to pod, there's a very good chance of being neck and neck.
The big key, where is it?
Yep,
Oh,
that's
I
his-
know where it is.
Oh, it's gotta be down there. Nice! There's the big key. Something is no longer missing. Turning the green pendant, see what Sahasrara has for us. Just a heart container. Who knows? Could have been ether.
Yep.
Then back downstairs, Z4T0X goes nearly a full dungeon ahead of Cal, comfortably at this point.
Mm.
Could have some slight fluctuation. Misery Mire could lead our runners going to different spots looking for the big key. You know, small things like that. Trisscorp finally getting the Cane of Samaria from the Tower of Hera on the way downstairs now to the fun tile room. Not the boring tile room like everybody else did. This is the fun one.
No, he isn't Gomo too.
Nice helmet fight for Z4T0X. Ooh, didn't quite hit that green mimic. Sometimes it moves just a little bit out of your way. See, and the sometimes annoying thing about pod is that when you only need the big key, like in this case, it's pretty frequently in the back end of the dungeon. So even if you're in go mode, Palace of Darkness is still usually a pretty full clear anyway. Huh, I had actually overlooked that Eastern Palace hadn't been completed yet either. Those silly bow-locked dungeons. And you go downstairs. Yep, Cal's heading downstairs. Crrool finishes up the Minute Cave, back into Turtle Rock, opens the big chest to find one of the keys required to make it down. Trisscorp just about at Maldorm 4.5. Just because that's what version of Maldorm that is. Because math. And nicely done. You know, despite the delay that Trisscorp had finding the Power Glove, nice to see some very solid progress ever since then. And Crrool electing not to get any of the magic refill from the Dark Maze. We'll see how Crrool does with laser skips. So we know the bow is down here. It's going to be We're gonna open up the door, is what it looks like. Not a bad play. Nice to have that security, that comfort. And the first check is the bow for Crrool. Just get the small key. That's the compass. The small key's in the next chest. And we'll be right on our way. Actually, Crrool will probably still check this last chest. Doesn't appear that he has ether.
I'm interested where the other swords are.
I am too, because we've checked a lot of the game. Interesting to see Crrool kind of taking a death warp right to here just to restart with extra health. Perhaps not remembering or not knowing that the stun pack was a fairy. And there was at least a mini helmet that you could stun. Actually, that might be it, but still worth it. Knocks that face mask right off, and before Helmasaur can even move, one silver arrow to the jewels, as everyone has become so fond of knowing. And Misery Mire is another one of those dungeons that you can go mode and not truly go mode. The big key, I think I've literally seen the big key in any chest in this dungeon. And there's no such thing. Oh, there's two ideal locations that it could be. Throughout that bridge or in that spike room. Anything else, and this dungeon is just a chore. Everybody has a slightly different idea in their mind for routing Misery Mire. And fun thing is that none of them are bad routes. It's a tricky dungeon to go through efficiently. Zathox found the red boomerang, though. We'll head straight north. Only to find the second item. Well, that's interesting. We're in go mode and we still found both items. Kinda inadvertently. Oh, unfortunately for Crrool, it seems we ran out of magic on Trinex. Good thing for that door, though, because you can just mirror, which resets the dungeons, including the items that were underneath the pots. And the one right in this last room always has that full magic refill. Alright, better luck this time, Crrool. Go for it. We're not seeing any hammer strats, so your swings with the Master Sword have to be precise. It takes 10 hits with the Master Sword for each head. And I would wager at this point, Crrool does not have enough magic to take out the Firehead. Unless we switch to some very precise hammer strats, which that much of an ice floor is not going to be easy. Now, unfortunately, Crrool is out of magic again. Now, it's a fairly tough fight. There's no doubt about that. Master Sword does not make Trinex terribly friendly. So we see Cal heading to Ice Palace before Misery Mire. It's a quick go mode dungeon, just knock it out, get it done. And I actually might have missed this. Did Crrool save and quit to get to where he's at right now? Because if so, I don't believe that that Light World portal will exist anymore. Otherwise, that would have been a pretty quick way back into Turtle Rock toward the end, right near Trinex. Right, the flute was not active prior to. I have to wonder, purely speculation, if it might have been a little more advantageous to manually walk down the mountain and then get back to that portal. But alas, I digress. It doesn't matter.
Very nice bump shot from gamercal.
Fantastic Vidi fight.
Yep.
Only one silver arrow on each of the puffs. Or not puffs, I guess they're the mini eyeballs. It's not Argus. And then 2 on the big eye. You know, I'm just gonna call it the big puff. So with Misery Mire down, Z4T0X is left with 1 dungeon remaining, Ice Palace. A Go Mode Ice Palace. And within just a couple of minutes, he'll be on his way back up to Death Mountain for the last time. Worth noting too, guys, go give these runners a follow if you like what you're seeing. Check them out on their individual channels. You'll be seeing a bit of them throughout the remainder of this tournament. Show them all some support. I'd be curious to see all of your comments on this seed as well. What do you think of the routing? What do you think of what the seed intended for our runners to do today? What would you have done? Would you have done things differently? Trisscorp using spin attacks. I'm sorry, Tara. Go ahead.
I just said I'm still here.
Hey, I would hope so. I didn't think that you would leave me.
Of course not.
Are you having a good time, Tara?
Kinda.
What do you think of this seed?
I don't like it. Too many pendant dungeons required.
That's true. You did state earlier you're not a fan of the pendant dungeons.
No, I'm not. Yep. But you can say every seed that is not pedestal required is a good seed.
Yeah, you could make a case for that. But I don't know if that's what the general chat would think. Because they typically like to watch people go through pedestal seeds and not have a good time. Typically, the more trolly the seed, the happier the viewing party is. But as a racer, you don't want that sort of thing to happen. You definitely don't want that. Alright, so Tempered Sword on Cold Stare is going to be much easier. I must admit, I completely missed that. Was that somewhere in Ice Palace? No, it couldn't have been, because Crrool would have gotten it too. Where was Tempered? Chat, you gotta bail me out just one more time.
Helma.
Helmasaur, okay. I promise I won't ask you guys for anything ever again. I just needed to know you had me this one last time. So we got some votes for Helma and some votes for Armos.
See, that's why you don't trust the chat.
Either way, it's an Eastern boss. The dimension doesn't matter. So you guys know the rules. It's your favorite game time. Where are we going to find the Ganon's Tower big key? I'm gonna go with my typical number 8. Because I'm right like 1 out of 22 times or something like that. Those are pretty good odds.
I say number 12.
I do like the idea of it being in chest -3. Although I'm pretty sure that would require a major glitch to get to, because I don't even think it exists. At about 1 hour, 37 minutes, Z4T0X is entering the Dark World for the last time. Very close between our runners up top. It's still not a whole lot of time separating them, in truth. We'll knock this barrier down around the tower. And this magic staircase appears, and then we're just going to walk up it. And let's see where we go. The right side first. Oh, we're going to bonk. That's okay. Haven't had too many of those. We can allow for a couple. First chest is 20 rupees. Second chest is, well, half magic. Can't say that I would be upset about that for a moment. Third location, just a heart container, so no Rip Bob this time. Bob exists. Proud and strong. Sadly. Tara, do you not like Bob?
No.
Oh. I like Bob, he's a pretty cool guy. Small key at number 4, small key at number 5. Just another 20 rupees. And a heart piece, so nothing yet.
Is that seriously an unfollow emote?
So gamercal making the same quick work with Vitreous, using the silver arrows. Trisscorp heading through Ice Palace, checks chest number 1, comes back out and moves to the right. And Crrool heading back into pod. Actually, this might be Crrool's first time in pod. Crrool doesn't have ether. It is first time, yeah. Kiki's opening the door. Okay, so Crrool heading into pod. And as we approach the rando room, as it is affectionately referred to, we still don't have our big key. You never know, we might find the powder as a good safety, we might find butter. We might find butter. But we won't. We have seen all 3 shields now at this point, though. Nobody elected to pick up the shield from the Lonely Little Maze game. Nice use of the bonk strategy to avoid that portal. Now you see, chat's looking out for me. They're saying that we know where all 4 swords are. I didn't ask to be bailed out of this one. You guys are just doing it out of the goodness of your hearts. But that does bring my question then. Where was it? The Smiths.
Ooh, interesting.
So it looks like gamercal about a solid 4 minutes back at this point. Still very close. There's the mushroom. There's the big key. I was gonna make a joke about taking the mushroom to the witch to turn into the big key, but fortunately that's not going to happen this time. And we know gamercal's strategy for Ganon's Tower is typically to go to the right side if you find a small key within those 2 chests. And since we didn't, Cal's probably going to follow the same route and go full left through Ice Armos. Heading on the Cannonball Bridge, about to get into the Gauntlet. Gonna stop in the recovery room first, okay.
Interesting.
Just for that little bit of extra health. Trisscorp actually having some good ice navigation. Was able to maintain some control with the sword slashes. So Crrool's still just looking for that big key in the Palace of Darkness. Of course, we know it's in the back. But every player is doing the logical thing and sticking through these early chests. And Lanmo 2 is down with just a few quick fire rod shots.
Was very nice.
Yes, it was. It's always fun too when you get their paths kind of overlapping and one fire rod shot will hit 2 of them. Beautiful Samaria setup and first Wizrobe room. Entering Wizrobe 2, yep, nice, beautiful. One of them even dropped a full magic. Not much of a concern having half magic, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Especially since the room right before Maldorm 2 is going to have a full magic recovery as well. Or we can get that one too. Whichever way works. gamercal saying hi to Bob, our beloved glitched anti-fairy. Finding 20 rupees in that chest. And dropping on down. Pretty good place to pick up a full, or a piece of heart to fill up your heart container count. Piece of heart count? That thing, you guys know what I mean.
Yep.
Nice recovery either way. Zatok's feeling confident enough to just skip everything in that room. Ooh, trolled. Fortunately not on one of the spots that has spikes right below. You'll take an additional heart of damage every time at that point. Tried to dash through, didn't quite do it. Just bonked him in the eyes a couple of times. One more spin attack, though, or I should just say one spin attack, and that's it. Moldorm 4.68 is down.
What?
That's how many Moldorms there are in this game, Ter. We validate for 20 rupees. As Cal is just about to start the gauntlet himself. Aga 2 sounded like he was tapping along to the rhythm of the music. That was pretty cool. Nice triple, too. I think that was a triple.
Looked like it.
Only a single on that one. I couldn't tell if the third one actually hit the wall first or if it hit Aga. But there's hit number, I believe, 5 then, if that first one was indeed a triple. And there's 6, so yes, it was. You know, it doesn't matter what happens in the rest of that fight. If you get a triple, you got bragging rights for a little bit. That is cool. And with that, Z4T0X about to fight the big blue pig. About to shave his bacon, or roast him or something. Yeah, I don't really know, but
Wait,
we're gonna win.
Pig?
What?
He's a pig?
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you not realize that?
No.
I mean, it's not like a oink oink pig, but like he's kind of like a pig.
Hmm.
Nice use of the hook shots. The hook shots iframes. As long as.
Yeah.
What?
Continue.
Okay. I was just gonna say, for those that may not know, the hook shot, when it's in use, when it's extended, Link cannot take any damage. Oddly enough, that's actually in the official player's guide for the game too. But very nicely done though by Z4T0X to avoid damage from any of the fire bats. And did you find those light arrows? Yes. They
Silver
were.
arrows.
Yeah, silver arrows. Wrong game. Almost got a triple on that one too. But there we go. The 1-2-1. Ganon's down once again. And it seems Z4T0X is going to take first place, barring any sort of unfortunate fall right at this last moment. But I think we are set, and yes. GG, Z4T0X, first place. Right as Cal is entering Aga 2. Very, very close. Well done, though. Let's take a hearty look at how our bottom two runners are doing. We have Trisscorp with 2 crystals, pursuing number 3 at the moment through Turtle Rock. Crrool working on kind of the last crystal. We know that he had some trouble with Trinex a couple of times. But he will be able to just head straight back through Turtle Rock once Misery Mire is completed. And no, Crrool and Triss do not know that Z4T0X is finished. They are separate 1v1 matches right now. So they are two separate IRC channels, two separate race channels, two separate everythings except for the seed. Cal well into phase 3 now. We got one set of floor gone. Second set of flooring is gone. Ganon must not... He must not be too frugal with his money, because if Cal falls, which we hope he doesn't, he's got to pay a contractor to come in and just really, really quickly fix that floor up. But I guess he probably doesn't have to pay anybody. He can probably just make a couple of threats. He is Ganon. Unless he's a great handyman himself, who knows? And here we go. This should be number 3 or 4, I think. That's number 4. gamercal. GG, buddy.
GG.
Don't fall off at the end here. And we'll see if he wants to come on in here, chat it up with us for a few. Z4T0X will not be joining us just because he says he's not feeling so great. So we wish him the best. Hope he feels better. Cal, welcome.
Hiya.
GG. I know what your expectations were going into this, and unfortunately that was the result that happened. But I have to say it was a fantastic race throughout the entirety.
I can imagine, yeah. I thought I might have had a chance when I got Fire Rod into Flute into Bow, but then Aether stopped, and like, oh, now I'm sad.
Yeah, Aether held you back for a bit, for sure. You had the Power Glove pretty well before anybody else, though, which allowed you to get up to Death Mountain.
I can imagine. In a place like that, it's very tempting to cut out of that dungeon when you get a fight. No, stuck with a gun. That's not the first time I paid off in that exact manner.
No, but that's just it. You stuck with your gut throughout the entirety of this. You've got nothing to be upset with.
Not in the slightest. Yeah, because I pretty much had a good chain of items going entire way, to be honest. The only thing that was a bit annoying was the mirror, seeing the mirror in desert, and then immediately getting boots after beating Naga, and then it's like, dang it, now I've got to go back for that. And there was no way I wasn't going to go back for it, because having the mirror going around that loop is just so much efficient. Not getting it, you know? So
yeah, and that's something that we were commenting on as you were going back to get it. You can do King's Tomb, you can do Graveyard Cave, you can do Circle of Bushes.
Yeah.
It allowed you to do Mimic's Cave even, which, for all you know at the time, still could have had something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the mirror is just too valuable of an item. Not to mention that you wound up needing to go into the Swamp Palace anyway and find Titans, so...
Every single Pendant dungeon had something in this scene.
Yeah.
It would have been a nightmare for you, Tara, that's for sure.
Well, you'll have to... We're not going to spoil anything. You'll have to watch the VOD and hear his choice comments on it.
I can imagine. Yeah, I should definitely... Like I said, no regrets on this at all.
Well, good. Any other thoughts or comments just on the seed as a whole?
Was an interesting one. I kind of figured that I would have had to access the back of the gate after seeing what was at the front. So, you know, it was nice actually getting Smokey and then getting a whole bunch of stuff there. Obviously, the boots was interesting, but hey, at least we got boots. That makes
True.
Yeah, getting Tempered Sword off of the armor tonight's nice as well. Because I was sort of worried, just thinking, well, maybe since I am go moding here, maybe I'm gonna miss out on the sword, because I've had some really horrible experiences for that reason, where I had to go after the fact, I've had to go back and get a Master Sword so I can finish the seed. So I was thinking that would be a big sticking point if I did get tempered as Zatos did. So, I was worried about that. But yeah, otherwise, pretty much played as good as I could have with this, I think. And just maybe a little bit of nerves in places with failing some of the stuff, but that's way.
You could almost see a little bit of a nerves from your Turtle Rock. You had actually entered that about a minute, solidly a minute ahead of Zatox, and then wound up in Trinex at the same time.
Yeah.
And then at that point, Zatox already had Ether, and that's unfortunately where the tides turned. But up until then, I would say that you had a pretty solid, pretty consistent lead. But yeah, none of the items were really in obscure places. They were in locations that everybody was checking.
Yeah.
And even if you hadn't found that sword, then you had to have been really fortunate to find silvers super early and in such a free location.
That was very say.
But yeah, I mean, GG. Either way, it was a really, really great race to watch. And you played really, really well.
Yeah, here's hoping I can scrape out for the rest of this then. Gotta get at least 2 wins out of 3 in the last set, right? Hopefully I don't play somebody quite this strong for the 3rd week in a row. That would be nice. Admittedly, I've said before, everybody's a tough match in this. This is the 3rd week running where, even after losing one at the start, this is the 3rd week running where I've had a really strong opponent to play against. And I don't know, getting a little bit... But hey.
Yeah, for sure. Everybody in this main tournament is tough as nails.
Absolutely.
There's not going to be an easy matchup for any of us.
No, but I think the scale can definitely swing in a different direction in this, that's for sure. Problem is, could still face Ben or Andy in the next round, so it's not over in that sense. Ay. Oh well.
No, and then the fun thought on that is that if you beat one of them, then you get to feel sorry for whoever they face next.
Yeah, really.
I mean, that's just the way that the matchups for these work. You try to, it's attempted to, I think it's all done within the challenge page, but you're basically racing people with similar or the exact same records.
Yeah, as much as possible, you're playing the same.
And someone's got to win, someone's got to lose. So we've seen some really interesting matchups just as a result of how the Swiss format works.
Yep. Christos Ben round 2, obviously Ben ended this time. ACM remains known for us, I imagine if that hasn't happened yet, that's going to be really good. Yeah, just so many that you could see being top 8, top 4, finals, etc. that have already happened, and it's insane,
Yep, that it is. So we see Crrool right now picking up his 7th crystal.
Oh, I should have asked how the other race was doing. I'm a bad person, sorry.
Oh, that's not... You're not a bad person. So yeah, Crrool is just about to head into Ganon's Tower.
Alright.
Head west a little bit from Turtle Rock. Trisscorp working on crystal number... Let me count this. I can actually count. Crystal number 4, I believe. Yes, unfortunately, only crystal number 4. But doing really well. Had a bit of a major hiccup earlier on something, but ever since then, it's really been progression as if it never even happened.
It was a little bit saddening getting both map and compass on left side of Swamp, though. That kind of annoyed me a bit. Because thinking, well, from what I've been hearing recently, most sort of efficient way through this is to do left side first.
Right.
So,
right, because you were still missing multiple items, so yeah.
So
I agree with that.
It was a case. It wasn't just a case of missing one. It was, I had lots of stuff to find. So that Misery Maya went kind of bad as well because that was last possible place, and I didn't even get enough small keys so I could keep going in there either. I had to go the long way around again.
Right.
So that was a horrible dungeon, but
That's just how it works sometimes. Misery Mire Go mode is just not one that's terribly easy to route.
No. And I've had the big key be in one of those two torch puzzle chests so many times, not in the first two, that I had one point where it was 95% of the time it was over there. So it's just a case of, well, you know, I think that was the entirety of version 24, where around about there. It was like every single seed I played in that almost, it was on that side, it wasn't those two. So kind of ingrained at this point, it just seems efficient to me to go that way. But of course, when you get punished for it, it's at the very least, every match I've had only so far has been good, so I can't really complain too much, even though I am kind of down on, almost on the deathbed at this point. There's still time.
If nothing else, you still have 3 races left.
Yeah.
That's the one really cool thing about this Swiss format, is that no matter what your record is, you're getting a minimum of 6 races.
Yeah. The key point at this point is it is win it in, basically. But, you know, that is possible.
Oh, yeah, I guess you'll just have to do it then.
If I can keep playing the way that I have been, sure, you know, just get it at this point. It's definitely possible.
So at this point, Crrool's approaching the rando room, just picked up the bombs right before. Got to head through the voids. Trisscorp just entered Misery Mire. In go mode at this point, I should say, too.
Well, that's nice. Yeah, this was a weird one. In fact, you had go mode, and I had like 2 crystals or something. And it was just, okay, that's unusual, but...
Yeah, and especially getting your second crystal at like an hour and 12 minutes in.
Yeah!
I actually made the mistake of thinking you had crystal number 3 at that point, because you had cleared like 18 pendant dungeons, and I thought one of them was
yeah, my first crystal was like 45, 50 minutes to see or something, because I basically filled 2 pendant dungeons at that point, and even had to go back to it so I could get in the mirror too. Right. In any case, though, I think I'm gonna head off myself at this point.
Alright, well, Cal, GG again. Thanks for chatting for these few.
Yeah, it's been good. The rest of the other race goes well. Yeah, have fun.
Alright, take it easy, buddy. It seems Crrool, and I'm sure that some of you did notice this anyway, it seems that Crrool did, unfortunately, kill Bob at the expense of a heart container for himself.
Luckily killed Bob. I like him.
Okay, there. That's fair. Nice Ice Armos 2. Find the mushroom. Unfortunately, that one's not going to turn into the big key either, because it's still right in that chest. I can hope.
No.
Well, no, I can hope. It's never going to come true, but I can hope for it.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Tear, please.
Okay.
We're fighting like this in front of all the children? Ah.
Old.
Trisscorp not wasting any time, heading straight to the vanilla big key location. Oh, right then, Tear. Anyway, gauntlet time for Crrool. Okay, not quite. Heal time for Crrool. We'll check the recovery room first.
Let's see if he picks up the... Nope.
I mean, with half magic, would you?
I would. So I don't need to pick up later. Since you're already there. Refilling
That's
your
fair.
hearts.
Trisscorp a little bit low on health, needs to be a little bit careful. Quickly pulls out the magic powder. Uses it straight away on that anti-fairy. Instinctively tries to open the big key chest. Unfortunately, not going to work. Big key cannot be in there.
Something is missing.
It's actually an interesting question. If you do run, like suppose that you only had 2 silver arrows to use on Ganon. I believe that you could substitute the other 2 arrows with 6 spins with the Tempered Sword.
Yes.
So yes, you can divide it up if necessary.
At least I believe so.
Pretty nice quick work with the mini Helmas. Usually pretty annoying, obnoxious enemies. We'll get the magic recovery though, right before Maldorm 5.1. Because he like surrounds you. Like sound. Get it? That was a bad joke. Most of my jokes are bad.
Yes,
Quick
they
work
are.
of Maldorm 2 though. Wow, chat's turning on me now.
Well,
That's the risk you take with bad jokes, though.
yep.
You either like them or you hate them, there is no in between. I accept it.
Just don't do terrible jokes.
I don't know if it's feasible enough for me to do terrible jokes. To be fair, the only reason that I know dad jokes is because I have a father that did nothing but tell them. It's kind of a part of my normal everyday life, I guess. Anyway, nice agate too, Crrool. You're on your way straight to the blue boar, since chat seems to prefer to call it a boar than a pig.
Yes, it's a terrifying boar, not a pig.
I mean, you get bacon from it either way, so how much different can it really be? Alright, chap. If I'm boring you, then I don't know, I don't have anything for that. Bravo.
Well, time to enter Terra, then. No, I'm pushing it.
On to phase 3, though. Ganon's almost down for Crrool. Ooh, very, very close spot for a Ganon hug. Got lucky to not be bonked off.
Mm-hmm.
There's hit number 3. I don't think you'll quite get for it. Nope, you will. Nice. I thought Ganon was going to warp beforehand.
Trisscorp quickly terminated Randomizer.
Mm-hmm. And we'll just mirror straight back and get the Butter Sword from Armos. GG's the Crrool, coming in first place in that race.
GG.
Hey there, Crrool.
Hello?
GG, congratulations on your win.
Thank you. My god, what a seed that was.
It was an interesting one, wasn't it?
I mean, I figured going into the Pendant dungeons was a smarter play because every single one of my other seats in the tournament so far have needed that. But my god. And then that T-Rock as well to top it all off.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate to see. I just have to ask, because Master Sword on Trinex can be a little tough, with 10 swings each. Are you not terribly comfortable with the hammer strats on him?
I have never had to do him with just the Master Sword and not having half magic.
Mm-hmm, sure.
I've tried it with the hammer before, but I tend to miss more than I tend to hit.
Okay.
Because of, just the terrible range of the hammer. So I figured I could maybe go for it, but by that point I was like, okay, I'm not gonna get this, and I can waste like another 10 minutes trying, or I can just take my loss and, go for the rest of it. Because at that point I knew I could at least complete the rest, and I was hoping to just find a sword or the half magic, or at the very least I could just refill my bottles and that would work too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely not an envy of anybody to have to do Master Sword with only normal magic consumption. on Trimax, but
it's a rough fight. And unfortunately, on the first time around, I just missed slightly too much to get the second half done. So at that point, I figured, okay, well, there goes match number 3, but turns out it wasn't all that bad.
Well, I do hate to keep the interview short, but it does seem that the next match is being set up as we speak. So
it's all good. Enjoy the next couple of matches. Don't know if you guys are going to be commentating that as well, but
I am not. No, I think they've got another team coming on up.
Seems fair.
But yeah, I mean,
yeah.
GG, congrats on your win. And along with Tara, I'm in the name of DT. We're going to be passing it off. Once this next race gets set up, should be starting in just a couple of minutes. So thanks for hanging out, guys. Sorry for all the bad jokes, even though you loved them anyway. We'll see you guys next time.
Hey man, that's terrible.
Hello everybody! We are just wrapping up this race, but we have another one waiting right behind it. I believe it's going to be Freddy and Jigheart. Oh, they're up at the top getting ready to go. But my name's Zach the Boker. I'll be commentating your race this evening.
I'm Dynasty Zero. I will also be commentating.
I feel very lucky to be able to commentate this match. I know both these runners are very good. I've had a lot of run-ins with Fred. I've actually played him in a tournament race before, back in entrance shuffle days. So I'm looking forward to a pretty good one here. I think this is a 1-1 match too, if I recall correctly. I have too many windows open. I'm watching like the other races on the other monitor, and then chat, and then checking schedules. Man, you know, if I wasn't just playing Zelda, someone might think I'm an important person. Yep, these are both these racers will be 1-1. Jighart lost his first match, won his second match, so he's coming hot with momentum, whereas Frede did take down. It looked like a Parisian player in his first, however, he lost to... who was it? He played Mike? I hate that No, he didn't play Mike. I'll find it. I've got time, so I'm just going to sit here and look for it. Frede played Wolf 38, and fortunately did not win. Or fortunately for Wolf, or Wolf 38 fans. I don't think we're going to be waiting necessarily for Trisscorp to finish up. We'll go ahead and start this race whenever our runners are ready, and then once the bottom race finishes up, then we'll get you back to full picture. But I was watching this race on the bottom earlier. Trisscorp unfortunately got stuck for a little bit, so he managed to rebound though and finish up his race, so kudos for him. Oh, and we're starting. Let's go! And the good old twos, right? Everybody loves that. $20 in the first chest. I didn't see what was in the Link's house chest, but I imagine Freddy's going to show me right now anyways. Yeah, that's a power glove. So that seems relevant.
Ooh, power gloves is always a nice thing to have at the beginning.
Yeah, most definitely. I feel bad a little bit for Trisscorp having to... He decides to go back and watch the VOD. He gets to see another seed where they get a glove in their first chest, which is kind of what tripped him up in his race. Oh, Uncle having a heart container. Ooh, and there's Nice Rod. Frede taking the south route. Got some good RNG there, so he's got 3 bombs to start off. That's a pretty healthy start. I looked away during the map check. Did you happen to catch our crystal pendant locations for the light world?
Unfortunately, no. I was still setting up some stuff.
No worries. Maybe the tracker caught it, or you know what? Maybe we'll just be in suspense. I'm sure chat caught it, but I'm in agreement with Terror that I don't trust them, so... Even though they're always right. But I don't trust them. All crystals, alright. I'll believe it when I see it. Looks like tier 1 pool there is $80. It's not too shabby, that's good to note. And of course, you can just take the expedited route and get $300 from the chicken house. 4, 5, 7, okay. So I guess desert would be 5.
Frede opting to bind some bombs here. Pretty useful.
Yeah, he just robbed those poor farmers of all their money, so he can get some merit from it, and he spends $100 more for 3 more bombs. Ooh, there's a fighter sword to start off in the Kakariko well, and Jighart also finds a bottle. Kind of obnoxious for Frede in this situation because he's going to go up to find that bottle and have to make the decision whether or not he wants to go back down to turn it in. some of the unfortunates of these different routing decisions that could happen.
Yeah, especially if it ends up being something useful.
Yeah. Really annoying when you go south and north and then you find like, you know, the flute and the bottle or like the shovel and all that stuff up there and you're like, I was just in that area. But we got Quake at Blind's house here. There's just $50 for the bottle.
Yeah, it looks like it's pretty heavy on money thus far.
Yeah, I think we've seen 200-300 drops. I know we've seen a couple 50s. We got a red rupee tree pull, so they shouldn't be hurting for money.
And with that early glove, it might look like it's an early Zora check too.
Oh, yeah, they definitely have the option to do the Zora as well if they wanted to take the vanilla route up there. Oh, a little clumsy with your bombs there. Throwing some bombs at chickens for no reason. It's unkind. Also, I'm not sure if you can hear it or not, but I do have a dog barking behind me. He's not used to me talking to myself, so if you can hear that, I do apologize. So Jigheart will be getting his sword. I believe they checked the lumberjack, I just don't recall what it was. And he did that so fast, I couldn't even tell what it was. It almost looked like a heart piece to me. Interesting choice, though, since Freddy does have the glove. If he wants, he can go ahead and sequence break and get his Death Mountain save. I wouldn't say that's a bad play at all.
Looks like that's what he's doing.
Considering a sequence break here, if you notice, the game is very dark. It's not an error in the game or the randomizer. He just doesn't have the lamp yet, so you wouldn't be able to see anything. However, your sword does give off these tiny little sparkles, so it makes it easy to track where you are if you are familiar with the room's layout. Man, good game to Trisscorp, finishing up his run. Sure, he's glad that's over. Alright, piece of heart from the old man, nothing great.